Welcome you to my YouTube channel. Today we will learn about how to teach a dog to heel. Get yourself ready. Let's go now. What does heeling mean and why is it important for a dog? The command or skill, heel, truly method that the canine needs to walk at once next to you in preference to in the back of or in front of you. The dog is required to hold tempo with you, most effective preventing when you forestall and walking while you stroll. You realize you want to add this to your to-do list if when you are taking your dog for a stroll you experience like instead, your canine is the one on foot you. It can every now and then be hard to motivate yourself to get up and opt for a walk. But it is even harder to get inspired and revel in a stroll with your favorite accomplice if they're constantly pulling and tugging you in every path. This skill enables your canine to recognize that you are in the price of the walk and that you are the alpha in the pack. This skill is likewise an ought to have if you ever wish to stroll your canine without a lead or leash. Even with a leash or lead, it is so much greater fun to go on a stroll and have your canine heel to you in preference to you attempting to hold up with whatever route or tempo your dog thinks you should stroll at. How to teach a dog to heel. In this part, we will learn to teach a dog to heel. I'm gonna show you 9 magical training steps to help you train your dog the heel command successfully. Get yourself ready now. Pick a quiet place to teach your dog. To teach a dog to heel, you need to pick the right place. So what is the right place? You should choose a quiet place. Training needs focusing. Therefore, you should decrease distractions as much as you can. You need to get rid of distractions so that your dog can concentrate on you easily. If you have got a backyard, that is the perfect vicinity to train your dog. Otherwise, find a quiet nook of a park with few other humans or pets. If outside is too distracting, begin inside. Gradually increase the quantity of distraction as the canine learns, and be sure to exercise in unique places, in order that the canine is familiar with that. Heel means heel everywhere, no longer just in the backyard. Make your dog watch and follow you. This may be completed without a doubt associating a cue such as watch me with a treat. Your canine will speedily analyze to study you when you operate the word, as they will expect a treat. Once this has been performed, give treats randomly, now not necessarily for each occasion, however, don't stop completely. Don't depend upon the leash to bodily move the canine. The leash is for safety, not a means of communication. Practicing off-leash in a safe region is ideal. Choose a release cue such as OK, free, or break to talk to the dog that it's OK to break, heel roll or get up from a sit. Teach your canine proper positioning. The right manner to stroll a canine is with the dog for your left aspect. However, this is best important for formal obedience and a few other sports. For puppy dogs, choose whichever aspect is excellent for you, however, be steady and stay with the chosen aspect. The dog ought to walk with its head or shoulder even with your hip. You aren't keeping the leash tight to preserve your dog in place. The leash is slack between you, without a contact. With your canine in position, take 1 step. Reward your canine. Increase to 2, then 3, and so on. Once your canine is reliably heeling, introduce speed changes and turns. Consider every walk you have with the canine a training session. Teach your dog to put itself correctly. Right here is a beneficial command to teach your dog whilst status. If your dog isn't always close enough or is confused about which side to take a seat at, slap your hip and use the command right here. If needed, lure your dog to your facet with a treat. As your canine learns, slowly fade the trap by means of the usage of your hand without a treat, then simply your hand, then extra general. The trap can turn out to be a hand signal, moving your hand in your hip. Heavily reinforce your canine for good behavior with anything they revel in most: treats, play, petting, praise, etc. Treats are generally the maximum favored and easiest option. You must positively beef up your canine when he obeys your instructions correctly. Avoid using punishment to train. Get your canine's interest. The key to the heel is having your canine's interest. Start status still along with your dog sitting beside you in the suitable position. Get your dog's attention via calling its name, tapping on its head, making noises, or the use of your pre-taught watch me cue. When the dog looks up, slap your left hip together with your hand and say, right here. This is a command. Your dog can learn how to look wherein you indicate, and in this way, you are giving your dog a reference point for where he ought to be at the same time as heeling. Set your dog up for success. Try your nice to avoid requesting extra than your canine is capable of. Remember, the key's getting your dog's attention. This may be the maximum difficult thing. Also, although it takes a few work while getting your canine's attention, you can educate your dog to take a look at you when you say, "Watch me," or something your selected cue is. Remember to praise with a deal with whilst your canine responds correctly. Use corrections with care. Many people teach their dogs with all positive, reward primarily based methods, which require persistence and consistency. Corrections can get faster effects sometimes, but it can additionally backfire through unfavorable your relationship along with your canine, growing anxiety and confusion in the canine, and resulting in extra unwanted behavior. When you reward your canine, do no longer allow it to disobey your command till you launch it. For instance, if you tell your dog to sit down, it obeys, you reward it, and it gets up, immediately stop the praise. If your canine does now not sit down again by itself after a few seconds, firmly placed it into place, then praise once more. You do now not want to copy the command. Enforcing it's far much more effective. You may additionally need to give the dog another threat to obey properly. Using a leash or collar. While learning how to teach a dog to heel, you can use a leash or collar. These things will help you control your dog better. Think of the leash as an extension of your arm. With this in mind, do now not accurate your dog unless he or she desires correction. Giving mixed indicators to your dog will most effective complicate and inhibit a hit training. Keeping the leash slack, now not correcting constantly, manner that while you honestly do pull at the leash, your canine is much more likely to concentrate to you. Also, this will help you stop your dog from pulling on the leash. Use a thick collar. Thinner collars are greater excessive than wider collars, as pressure is not displaced over a larger area, making corrections extra extreme. Reinforce that your dog can't forge ahead. Most dogs forge ahead. To correct this, preserve your canine on a leash. This is tight sufficient to permit you to step throughout in the front of him. When he attempts to forge ahead, turn sharply and step at once in his path, creating a 90-degree flip and averting in a new course. Once more, turn sharply, as if on foot along a square. The dog may be used to main you and can be surprised or confused. Walk in a directly line again, until the canine tries to forge beyond you. Pull the identical stunt. Doing this for 5 to 15 minutes a day is enough. Some puppies learn after the first session, but some dogs who've been used to leading you for years may also take longer. Train your dog not to lag. Most dogs lag always if they experience afraid, neglected, unwanted, or abused, but many puppies lag sometimes if they're sidetracked by using smells or activities. The manner to forestall lagging is much like preventing forging. All you have to do is allow the leash to hit your leg whenever you step as you walk. Your leash must another time be for your right hand, and a lagging canine would be for your left facet behind you, with the leash crossing in front of your legs. This will purpose a jerk whilst you step forward with your left leg, and if this isn't enough to make your dog need to seize up, you can slowly reel in the leash whilst your leg is bumping it. You have to use a command whilst doing this: get up here, and/or right here, along with your left hand slap your hip. Speak this command, and your dog's name, using hey to get his interest if needed. Once your canine is subsequent to you, reward and allow the leash slack. Most probable he's going to lag once more, however, all you need to do is repeat. Try placing your thumb to your pocket to secure the lead at a period you sense comfortable running with. The abrupt prevent or modifications in direction at the regular lead tension appear to direct the dog well. Sometimes together with your fingers free, you could have a tendency to allow too much slack, permitting the canine to roam even as you daydream. The thumb trick continues them firmly in place. What to remember? There are a few things you gotta remember while learning how to teach a dog to heel. These points below will make your training process perfect. After per week or so of working towards this manner, it is time to pocket the treats and walk along with your empty left hand hanging naturally through your side. When your dog is taking walks beside you frivolously, pull a treat from your pocket and give it to them. At first, give them a treat after every other step, then about each of 5 steps, and finally each of 10 steps. Try taking walks lower back and forth, and upload in an obstacle route of gadgets in your surroundings to exercise strolling around while education. Finally, your dog must be able to comply with your heel commands effectively and most effectively get hold of a deal with every once in a while. You can rely extra heavily on verbal reward and less on real schooling treats, though they are continually desirable to have on hand. Try testing your dog through going out to a canine park, then putting off their leash, allowing your canine to practice this complicated skill in more challenging but safe surroundings. Since we know on foot a dog that continuously pulls can take laugh out of a day walk, in case you follow the above simple, brief and laugh steps, we are confident you can teach your dog to stroll evenly beside you. A fine leash could make a massive distinction if used properly. There are methods to apply in a positive way as a substitute for normally used choke chains. Conclusion on teaching your dog to heel. Heeling is an advanced skill and also a basic command for dogs to learn. The great thing about teaching a dog the heel command is that the dog is under very close control in this case. Remember, the key to success is being patient and focus. With the 9 smart tips we have discussed today, you can learn how to teach a dog to heel by yourself. Leave your comment below if you have any sharing. Follow me for more dog training topics. Thank you.